Crockett Keller.
I'm here.
All right, let's play this fella's ad because he's my new American hero. This is a commercial that we're going to find out about the commercial, but just listen and enjoy.
Hello, friends and neighbors in Mason and surrounding counties. Attention, be a victor, not a victim. We will be having a beginner's concealed handgun class this coming Wednesday, October 26th, at Keller's Riverside store on the beautiful Llano River. Classes start at 8:30 a.m. This is an all-day event. We will attempt to teach you all the necessary information you need to obtain your CHL, and hopefully when you can use your weapon to defend yourself if the need arises. We also will give you your handgun proficiency test as needed to get your license. The cost for the course is $100. We accept cash, check, credit cards, gold and silver, and used guns. For information or to sign up, call Crockett Keller, 325-347-0055. If you are a socialist liberal and or voted for the current campaigner-in-chief, please do not take this class. You have already proven that you cannot make a knowledgeable and prudent decision as required under the law. Also, if you are a non-Christian Arab or Muslim, I will not teach you the class. Once again, with no shame, I am Crockett Keller, 325-347-0055. Thank you, and God bless America.
All right, Crockett Keller. Tell us about this ad. When did you make? Had you ever advertised on the radio before?
I have a time or two. It was I forgot what I was doing. Probably another concealed carry class sometime, but I don't remember.
So, did you write this commercial out for yourself?
Yeah, I wrote it all out. I was, in fact, last week I was in Mason and I needed to do this ad and because I needed some. I had a couple of people that wanted to take the concealed carry class, and that's fine and good. That'd be $200, but I like to get $400 or $500, and so I decided, well, I'll spend a little money getting an ad out, and we'll see what happens. And
so you were planning on getting 5 people to come to your class?
5 or 6, yeah, and I got 6, and I'm happy with that. Happy. The only thing is, I was telling my wife last night, and I said, we should have actually, if I'd known this, I would have had the class next week instead of this week, because next week I could have had 500 people in it.
Yeah, you could. Now tell us where Mason is. We have listeners in Portland, Oregon, Baton Rouge, San Antonio, Houston, and all over the country on their smartphones. They got you know what an app is, Crockett?
I know what an app is.
You do?
I even have an iPod.
What?
Yeah.
An iPod?
I've got an iPhone and an iPad or whatever.
Anything that has I in it, you have it.
Pretty much.
You're a little more technologically advanced than I'd kind of hoped. I was hoping you were sort of a little bit more of a throwback to the hee-haw days or something.
Well, some people accuse me of that, but I try to break the norm.
So anyway, we got people all over the country listening. Tell them where Mason, Texas is.
Mason is 100 miles due west of Austin, 100 miles northwest of San Antonio, Texas, 100 miles southeast of San Angelo, Texas.
Well, you can get us there on WOAI. I'm on weeknights from 8 to 10 there on WOAI. You can get that there, 1200 a.m.
I'm going to start listening to it. I really don't listen to the radio very much, but after this deal with this ad...
everybody else does.
It seems like everybody else does. I'm not much of a follower, but this seems like something that might be fun.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you're kind of an overnight sensation. By the way, if you want to pass his ad along, we've posted it to michaelberry.com. So you went into a little radio studio there and cut this, or what? Yes,
KHLB.
Okay.
Radio station here in Mason. I went in there. The manager is named Lorraine. She had done me a favor and done a radio ad for a gun show that I helped to do up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
What kind of name is Lorraine?
Oh, I don't know. It's her name.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
She's the station manager, and so she did these other ads for me, or she edited my text for these other ads. I emailed it to the radio station there, and so I owed her. So I decided, well, I need to get this payback done and get an ad going, and so they can get a little bit of money. And so I needed to do this for my class, and so I ended up. I think I went to a coffee shop somewhere, and I sat down there with my iPad, and got into the notes section of it, and I started typing out my ad as pretty much what I wanted to do. And then I got to the part, the bottom part, if you will, and I know that there were some. I have some acquaintances up here who are socialist liberals
in Mason, Texas.
Why they live in our country, I have no clue. But whatever, I really didn't want them to even ask me to take the class.
So you weren't kidding.
I'm a polite person. I'm not mean-spirited in the least bit. I don't want to hurt anybody unless they want to hurt me. And then I'm going to come down like stink on doo-doo on them. But at any rate, I didn't want these people to say, "Hey, I want to take your class." And I would say, "No, you voted for the wrong guy. I'm not going to do it." And and it wasn't that they voted for the wrong guy. It's just that they didn't vet their choices. They had, as we got into the thing, and I've been asked, well, what do you have against people like these socialist liberals that voted for the campaigner in chief? And I said, they had a year and a half to make a decision. They had a year and a half to find out where this fellow came from, what his educational background is.
Right, but Crockett, our guest is Crockett Keller, and if you haven't heard his radio ad, go to michaelberry.com and you can hear it. My theory on that is this, Crockett, and tell me what you think. My theory is these socialist liberals, which are not to be confused with the other coalitions in the Obama tent, that I don't want them getting concealed handguns or concealed carry license in the state of Texas, because the people that attack you, burgle your home, and rob you, and carjack you, and all that, they all vote Democrat too. If you've ever seen the profile pictures, the mug shots, a lot of them are wearing Obama T-shirts that they got at one of his rallies. So I figure if they're going to rob anybody, rob the people that vote the same way they do. What do you think?
Well, I don't want them to rob anybody. But that's I don't go to gun-free zones. They're very dangerous.
That's a good point.
I just don't want anybody robbing anybody, and that's why I teach the concealed carry class.
What gun do you personally carry on you?
I carry a 1908, what we call a pocket hammerless Colt 380. It happens to be silver-plated and it has ivory grips.
That's a girl's gun, isn't it?
No, it's not.
That's what Annie Oakley carried.
If you get shot by it, you'll die.
Do you know who RuPaul is?
RuPaul, no.
That's the fellow dresses up like a woman?
Oh.
That's the gun he carries.
Is that right?
No, I'm just kidding you.
At any rate, I like it, and I carry a judge also.
Oh, yeah. Tell folks what a judge is that don't know, because that's the coolest gun, in my opinion, new gun made in the last 5 years.
It sure is.
What shells do you use?
I actually alternate them. I have number 9 shot for rattlesnakes. I have buckshot for other creatures, whether they're 2-legged or 4-legged, and then I have 145 long Colt in it with a hollow point.
Tell folks what that gun is, because I think that a lot of people may not know.
Well, basically it's a shotgun pistol. It's a legal shotgun pistol. It has a rifle barrel, which makes it legal and it's capable of shooting shotgun shells and or 45 long Colt cartridges. You can shoot birdshot, buckshot. In fact, I hunt quail with mine.
But you don't carry that on you. That's your home defense weapon.
It's my home defense. I actually carry it in the car so that because it's really my weapon of choice. Mine has a 6-inch barrel, so as far as concealed carry, it makes it somewhat difficult.
All right, I'm going to play you a clip from a fellow named Carlos Gonzalez blessing all sorts of animals and trees and stuff. And if you would just say that one for everything that you would shoot. Ready?
Let us not forget our fellow creatures. Those that stand, those that blow in the wind, those that are tall and stately, those that crawl on the earth, those that slither on the earth, those that live under the earth. Let us remember and bless the winged ones, those that swim in the waters, the 4-leggeds, and also our brothers, the 2-leggeds, that walk throughout this world.
Crockett, you didn't play along. You were supposed to tell me which one of them you'd shoot. At least the ones that slither.
It wasn't specific. Well, if it's a king snake, I'm not going to shoot it.
Oh, okay, all right. So you're thoughtful.
Yeah, of course. You've got to be specific when it comes to shooting something. You know, and a four-legged thing. How many things have four legs? There's a bunch of them.
Well, that's a good point. All right. So here's some of the other questions. Are you a veteran of the military?
I was in the National Guard, yes, for 6.5 years.
Do you teach Buddhists?
I beg you, do I teach Buddhists? I have no issue with that.
All right. Have you received a lot of requests from others? Have you received a lot of requests to teach another class?
Hundreds of requests in the last 2 days.
Are you named after Davy Crockett?
No, I'm named after a fellow named Crockett Riley. He was from Fredericksburg, Texas. His father was a pioneer in this part of the country, and my dad was a good friend of Crockett Riley, and that's who I was named after.
Are you a fan of John Wayne?
Absolutely.
Who is your hero?
Ronald Reagan, Everett Dirksen, and my dad, I guess.
Is he still alive?
My dad, Paul Keller.
Who do you like in the GOP primary so far?
I like this Kane fella. I have some. I like Rick Perry, although I have had issues with Rick Perry as far as some of his stance on some other things. I like Rick Perry's attitude toward concealed carry. He believes if you have a concealed carry license, you should carry it anywhere. I agree with that. I liked, what's his name, Fred Thompson, but he's not running. Those two are, I guess, those two are about my favorites. It's going to be between those two guys, either Kane or Perry.
Have you ever had to turn anybody away from one of your classes?
No, I have not had to yet.
Could you say it pretty clearly in the end?
That's correct.
What's been the oddest request you've heard since this ad's gone viral?
They actually haven't been very odd. Surprisingly enough, I tell you what, I guess, and I hate to use the word odd, but I had this nice, sweet little guy from New York call me, and he said, "I'm up here in New York, and I need to defend myself, and I need a concealed carry license." And I said, "Well, okay, fella." I said, "I'm down here in Texas, and you're in New York." And he said, and I said, "If I'm not mistaken, New York doesn't have reciprocity with Texas as far as you being able to use your Texas license to carry up there." And he says, "Well," he says, "you know what? I want to take your class." And he said, "But I have an issue." He said, "I'm a log cabin Republican. And would you teach me? I see where you don't want to teach socialist, those guys, and Muslims." He said, "Would you teach log cabin Republican?" And I said, "Absolutely." I said, I have no problem teaching y'all."
How'd you know what that was, Crockett?
Back in the day, I ran for Travis County Treasurer years ago, and during that time, they called me up and wanted me to, make some statement or whatever, and I didn't know who the log cabin Republicans were, and I found out that they, of course, were the gay and lesbian Republicans, and that's what they call themselves, the log cabin Republicans. And I personally think that, and I support that organization's. I think gay people don't need to be ostracized from the Republican Party, and if they want to call themselves log cabin Republicans, that suits me just fine. Their other ideology I don't necessarily hold dear to my heart, but
what if one of them wants to hold your hand during the class? One of the fellas.
I don't probably not.
Okay. Crockett,
I don't
you're
want
a
to
good sport.
offend you. We're in a redneck country up here, and if I go to holding hands with my students,
probably wouldn't be a good idea. Thank you, Crockett Keller.